I think we knew coming into training camp, somewhere in the point of practice, we didn't know where, we didn't schedule and say practice number 7, but we were going to keep a good eye on our players to see where they're at. And I think a couple things. One, we really want them to understand that they need to trust us. They just go out there and practice and practice and practice, and they need to learn to trust us. When it's time, we'll slow the tempo down a little bit, you know, and just go. And I think we want to take advantage of that today. The other thing is we talked about take the craziness out of the game. I think right now they're at the 7th install. A lot of things are in their head, and we want to come out here, slow it down, and just kind of correct some things. We saw a lot of individual time, some group work, where they slowed it down and said, all right, let's detail this more. I think if our coaches are detailed and our players are detailed, we got a better opportunity for precision. And that on top, we said, you know what, you need to do that because there's a lot of things going on in some of these young guys' head, so we wanted to slow it down with that. And like I said, on top of it, we want to take care of our bodies. We're seeing some really good results from the way we structured practice. The stat was brought to me that this time last year we had 15 guys that got IVs, and this year we've had none. You know, so we talk about celebrating the victories on the field, but as well as, you know, let's take a look at, okay, let's evaluate where we're at right now with how we structure practice. Are we seeing the results we hope to? We had twice as many guys come in and get treatment, take care of their bodies this year compared to last year on the players' day off. You know, things like that, we're saying, that's good. 250 cases of Gatorade last year at this time, now 500. You know, it's good. I mean, anything. We'll look for anything like that. But it tells us that the message we're sending, they're receiving, and they're demonstrating it. And it's paying off. We have a chance to showcase it. So, you know, all those things I think are important to our players. They sense it. They feel good about where they're at. And now we just, you know, plus we're getting ready for tomorrow's scrimmage.
With how much you struggled with last year, do you feel like you're finally starting to figure out how Bernard Robinson fits into this offense?
Yeah, you know, where last year he was doing, you know, we're playing wide receiver and getting him out a lot in the empty, playing some wildcat with him. I think it's more of a defined role. He's in a strong competition at that running back spot. And so I think we kind of pared it down for him and give him the best opportunity.
Obviously, they're short on this series.
I know Dave and I are going to go talk about that right now. You know, we'll see with the extent of some of these guys. You know, that's one of the conversations we're going to meet this afternoon on.
How did?
Well, it didn't affect us today. We need to get a good tight red zone. You know, we ended practice, we didn't get it through yesterday. We added more reps, we went in there, worked tight red zone, and you know, that it had no effect on that. So we'll take a look at it. It might mean an additional body, but we called the game just how we would normally do as far as personnel.
Will it affect tomorrow night's scrimmage at all?
We'll see how guys came out of it from today, the guys that we gained back. And you know, yes, it's kind of a pre-game rehearsal, or you know, for our first preseason game. So you'll see us. We'll walk through how we're going to enter the field, how we are in the sideline, and special teams and things like that. So in a way, it's a mock game, but you'll see some really competitive situations as well. So it shouldn't affect that too much.
Is that what you're trying?
How frustrating is this when you just keep losing?
Well, you know, the guys will step up now. Just like, you know, there's going to be stories, and our staff understands that. You know, fortunately, what we're looking for is, you know, ideally you're looking to make sure that game 1, you're at good health. You know, that's what we're looking at. And you're fortunately, some of the injuries that we have with some of the guys, you know, you're looking and saying, okay, you know, they'll be back, just like Cecil, we'll gain them back, a couple of those. So, you know, I think it's at the point we'll say, well, we get a chance to look at these guys. We got some big decisions tonight, really big on these final 53 guys. So that's how our staff is approaching. We don't want to miss really evaluating these guys and finding something.
Council bodies on return, is that going to be a part of scrimmage tomorrow?
Well, you know, I think, you know, Will Blackman's done it, and really Marquise, we really want to see him. He's done it, and I think, you know, he'll get an opportunity now tomorrow to see it. You know, depending on how many we get, how many looks that we're getting.
Hey Gus, a weekend, how do you feel about the offense? And obviously dealing with some of these injuries and such, what are you seeing that you like? What are the things that you need
Well,
to improve?
here's what I can say. The running game, I know, sometimes takes time. It does take time. We don't want to wait till week 8 to where it starts to get going. Obviously, we're trying to get that going now. So we've had a renewed emphasis on the run game, and we see some consistency starting to show up to it, even like today. I think the guys are playing, you know, we've kind of pared it down, how we're teaching the offensive line scheme. I think that it's become easier for them to understand. And in terms, we're seeing guys play faster. But there is some new guys in there, and they're getting a chance to play. So we feel like we're making great strides there because of the emphasis.
And as far as tomorrow night, are you just trying to find some, you said, competitive situations? Is that kind of the main goal, to find some situations where you can start to make some of these decisions?
Right. I think that, situations that happen in a game, make sure we cover all those things, special teams, offense, defensively, and then also try to see some guys. Let's give this guy an opportunity. Let's get him some opportunities and see how he reacts. So we'll get a chance to kind of, make those decisions today.
Any particular concerns about Robinson?
Well, you'd love to have them. You'd love to have them. But again, I think it's one of those things that we're going to get them back, so we got to be smart with our return to play protocol and things like that. No, you know what? I think we knew that with him too. I think we knew that before because we looked at, he was injured in OTAs, and we said, if there's any signs, of fatigue, and we just said, you know what, before we get to that point, let's give him a day off, especially a day like today. We thought that would be really good for him. So no signs, from the training room. We just thought, you know what, with where we're at, it would be good for him with the way the practice was structured.
Blackman and Lee.
Yeah, Blackman and Lee, it's the guys right now, unless something changes this afternoon.
Right now, when you say Blackman's the favorite,
well, he's done it. We trust him. We trust him. You'll see Slaughter. Slaughter's back there. He's a guy that's got to earn our trust. I know he's had a couple drops, in practice and things like that. So, he might be a guy we single out and see him get some punt returns and see when it's under the lights, how does he respond.
You guys had a chance to review yesterday's practice without Paul being out there. What does the defense look like when
He did a pretty good job. We always calculate the number of busts that we have in practice. And I think it's one that we hold our players accountable, but it also is for the coaches to see how are they receiving the information. And the number of busts was down there, so he did a good job.
Stupar.
Yeah, Stupar. Yeah. Right, and I think that we've got at least some reps in there, but we don't want to run scared either. We're not going to run scared. This can help us. If he's the best punt returner, then we're going to look at that.
Thank you, Coach.